Mama Rex, I have no words for you. I was at home when I was called that there was a body on my avenue and someone had been shot. I've never been to a protest where someone has died. And I found you there shell-shocked with your husband Chris. And I have no words. Your son died a hero. I know it's a heavy price to pay for a mother and a father, that you have to lose your son for Kenya to be liberated from tyranny, dictatorship, and plunder. But because of your son's sacrifice and 40 others who have died, Kenya has changed forever. So I want you to see us as your sons. We shall come and visit. We shall come and support your family from now continuing. And Rex will never be forgotten. His legacy will never be forgotten. I'm a father to 3 kids, and I can't imagine burying a child. So what you're going through is very heavy. But just know this, Kenya has changed because of Rex. He was the first one to die during the peaceful protest. And Kenya will never be the same again because of his sacrifice. And to every young Gen Z in this room, do not be compromised. Don't sell out. Keep demanding for a better. There's something Kikuyu say, don't go down. The demands you're making are sensible. And if they ask you who is our leader for this movement, it's the Kenyan Constitution. Every single thing we're demanding as young people of this country is in the Constitution. So tell Ruto and his government he's not doing us a favor when he responds to our demands, because the Constitution of this country, it gives us a right to demand those things. Rex died a hero.
Boniface Mwangi, the activist, was making that speech in Machakos during the burial of the first young person that was killed on the protest, Rex Masai. I've also attended the burial of Evans Kareto. I've seen the way the mother broke down. And of course, just to add into this, more than 20 young people have been killed, were killed by security forces. And this is really causing accumulating damage, accumulative damage. And I think when I look at this, I want to categorically say that if Kenya Kwanza are not careful, there is some false calm that has been restored. And Kenya Kwanza seem not to have learned from the events of the last 3 weeks. The anti-government protests were very organic and had legitimate issues at hand. And while the president appears to be showing empathy and more concerned, or acting like he's concerned about what the Gen Z raised on governance, the clique of politicians around President William Ruto that will, in the near future, sink this country, plunge the country into a second wave of protest. Or rather, the resentment on Kenya Kwanza will not wither off because of these politicians. The propaganda machinery employed to pacify the public is actually misguiding President Ruto in hoodwinking the public. I still can't understand why police should not arrest these young people here who in this video are saying they were paid to attend a protest.
Ningependa kuongelea kwa niaba ya Gen ya Tharaka Nithi County, hii ujumbe ifike State House ama ifikie Karen Rigiji aje kufandi vijana kwenda kuharibu mali ya umma. Sisi vijana hatuko tayari kuharibu mali ya mtu.
Gen tumekasirika because we are in a peaceful demonstration, alafu sasa ikakunja ikaingililia mambo ingine hapa. Kuna mtu anataka kufandi maandamano, lakini hapa ilirundi sasa akatugeuka. Sisi tunaenda kuharibu mali ya umma huko, lakini sisi hakuna kitu tunapata. Alikuwa anapewa dhao, unaambiwa ni dhao 3, lakini sasa ikakuwa wewe unaenda kutupa siku yako huko bure. Hakuna kitu unalipwa. Mpaka saa hii hadi wa leo hakuna kitu mtu amepokea. Sasa ni pesa yetu atupe na asifanye Kenya ikue Haiti.
Yeye ndiye anafandi vijana wanaenda kuharibu nini mali ya mtu. Huwezi haribu mali ya mwananchi mwenzako. Acha kugeuka Ruto.
Vijana wametuma maandamano na rigi. Ape vijana pesa baje hajatoka. Babu kwa sababu wemba pesa.
Ile kitu nataka kuambia ligi nchi, our deputy president atupende ni yetu. Ndawa ya ndani ni kulipa, sio kubadilisha njia.
And you and I know very well that the person coming out that was paid could be he's been paid to say he was paid. And if he's truthful about demanding that so-and-so paid him, then why are they putting on the masks? I am afraid to say this is just part of the propaganda script to pacify the public by saying the calls were not legitimate and there are some people that were behind it. Why am I saying? That video was taken somewhere in Nairobi here. And, you know, they're trying to link Rigathi to it. But the consistent propaganda on this matter has been going on. The propaganda is the same. From what that young person is saying to what one gentleman, Oscar Sudi, is saying, believing that there were some people that were behind the protest.
Mambo yalifanyika Kenya ilikuwa imepangwa. Walikuwa wanataka withdraw government. Hiyo ilikuwa kuu. Walitumia tu watoto wetu kuwaweka mbele na civil societies kupanga hapo na wakora wengine ili wakora wale real wafike. Lakini mimi nashukuru Mungu tumetulia na mimi naona hata Wakenya wameanza kurudi normal, hata GNC wenyewe wameanza kuelewa ya kwamba kando na sisi kama GNC kulikuwa na wakora wengi sana. Mimi nataka niulize, kama kweli unafanya maandamano ya kusema withdraw finance bill kwa sababu labda haifanyi mambo yenyewe unaona haikufai, sawa, tume withdraw finance bill, itatugharimu tena kama Kenya bado. Lakini unachukua watu wengine pia kwenda kuvunja mali ya wenyewe. Nilishangaa sana kwanza kuchoma county kama ya Uasin Gishu. It's really embarrassing. Tunaonekana wajinga sana. Kwa sababu finance bill inaingia wapi na county? Finance bill inaingia wapi na kotini? Finance inaingilia wapi na parliament? Finance bill inaingilia wapi na biashara ya watu? Najua nimesikia watu wengi wakinikashifu. Mwingine alikuwa naona mwingine anasema tunataka tukuje tuchome nyumba ya Sudi. Mimi nilipigia wale mimi najua wao ndio wenye walichochea watoto wetu. Nikamwambia hawa kuja uchome hii nyumba ya Sudi ndio hiyo kitu iko kwa roho yako itoke na ufurahi. Kwa sababu surely pale kwangu Timba sio vile watu wanasema tu ati ni club. Pale kuna maduka, kuna car wash, kuna pale pa kufanya service magari, kuna hoteli. Tumepoteza wafanyakazi walikuwa wanafanya kazi pale 220. 220 inamaanisha kama mtu wako na watoto watatu ama watano. Hiyo ni kupoteza watu 600 wenye walikuwa wanategemea pale kukula. Lakini kwa sababu ya ujinga na furaha yako kusema lazima tuchome Timba ndio tu jamaa. Sasa mimi ungechoma Timba unafikiri utanikata mkono? Unafikiri utanisimamisha mimi Sudi? Mimi niko na historia na mimi naongea nikiwa hapa Kesesi. Mnanijua vizuri. Kuanzia penye nimeanzia mpaka penye niko. Nasikia wengi wanapiga kelele kweli. Ati Sudi anakona saa ya bei kali. Sio sijui Sudi. Mimi nilinunua hii saa before nikuwe mjumbe. Na wewe utuambie tukue maskini sisi wote. Ukisimama kule Nairobi uangalie manyumba yao magorofa yote unajua wenyewe ni ya nani? Ukisimama Eldoret uone manyumba yote unajua ni ya nani? Why you pointing Sudi na watu watatu hapo? Siasa ya ujinga tuache. Na wale walifanya hiyo mambo ilifanyika Eldoret ni wetu tu wa viongozi wa hapa. Na mwingine wa Nandi kutuma pesa fanya uhalifu. So imefanyika. So what? Umefaidika na nini? Hiyo ndio swali nataka tujiulize. Wengi wanapiga kelele ati Sudi anajenga makanisa anatoa pesa mingi. Mimi nikikuja hapa Harambee Kises nilipata waumini wa hiyo kanisa washachanga pesa. Yetu ni kule kujasia tu yale kidogo. Halafu nasikia mtu anasema ati Sudi anatoa milioni 20 kwa kanisa. Sasa mimi nataka nitangaze ya kwamba kwa sababu hawa wenye wanataka hii kazi isimame, hata mimi nilikuwa nimechoka kidogo, wacha nisimamishe kwa miezi 6, wacha nifanye kazi ya barabara, ya basari, yangu ya CDF, hiyo ingine yote nimestop for 6 months, for 1 year, tuone kama kuna kitu tabadilika, ama muende muambie hawa wenye walikuwa wanachochea wakuje waendelee na hiyo kazi. Hiyo ndio nimeamua. Kwa sababu haitakuwa mtu mmoja anahangaika kwa hii kaunti msima kufanya kazi na kuna wenye walali usiku wanachochea. Kwani kanisa ikijengwa mimi naomba kwa hii kanisa syndicates. Si mimi naomba kule kwangu. So mimi nataka niwaambie tafadhali, sisi kama wazazi pia tuchukue jukumu tuongeleshe watoto wetu. Na nimefurahia hao vijana wameongea hapa sana. Kwa sababu sasa wameanza kuelewa maneno. Na mimi nataka ni encourage Gen Z. Heshimu wazazi wako. Tafuta namna ya maisha. Utukosoe kwa njia ya haki kama ile ya kwanza. Tutawasikiza, tutaenda mbele kama inji, lakini don't destroy what is there. Because you want a new thing, yenye ujui inatoka wapi, itaanzia wapi. Mambo ni kuongea na kutafuta njia ya kutatua maneno. Sisi wengine tumetoka mbali, usione tu ati mimi nilikuwa naona mwingine anapiga kelele kweli. Mimi nilianza kazi nikiwa 14 years. Hawa Gen Z, hawa watoto wangu hawa wanakula lunch alafu wanaenda maandamano. Kwanza kuna msichana wangu hapa aliniambia dadi, Gen Z ilikuwa sisi tulikuwa tunafanya mambo yetu mzuri, lakini hawa watu wamebadilisha hii kitu, wamekuja kutuingilia. Lakini hata hivyo nimetuma shilingi 10,000. Nikamuuliza unatuma 10,000 ya nini? Hati ya wale waliumia na wale walikufa. Can you imagine even my own daughter alituma pesa? So ndio unajua Gen Z nayo wako na maneno na kizirani mingi sana. Otherwise nataka niseme ni watoto wetu tutawazikisa, lakini kwanza mjiheshimu, heshimu wazazi wenu, heshimu inji yetu. Hii inji ikipotea hakuna inji nyingine kama hii. Na mimi nataka niombe wa Kenya, wale wanaweza kutembea, mkitaka mjue Kenya tuko mbele sana, tembea hapa West Africa. Tembea West Africa yote hii. Utarudi ukisaluti inji yetu na utawahi fanya kitu ya mchezo. Kwa sababu wale wanataka fanya kutumia watoto wetu, serikali iko na mkono mrefu. Na tutawaambia mpaka majina kwanza ya wale viongozi. Especially baba nyumbani, niko naongojea tu. Isiposema mimi ndio ndakuja kusema. Nitasema. Ni vizuri tuseme ukweli. Nitawaambia huyo na huyo na huyo ndio alipanga namna hiyo, alipanga namna hiyo, alipanga namna hiyo, alipanga namna hiyo. Can you imagine kako itile?
Na ni mfaa tushukuru rais because jana alijipeleka mpaka pale huko X. Wale walikuwa wanaongea sana wakatoroka, wakasema ndio huyo amefika. Mimi Kipchumba niko tayari kufika hapo hata kesho. Ndio tuweze kuambia wananchi tumefanya nini. Kwa sababu tusiposema hii maneno, propaganda inashika na it's very interesting to be in this space.
So you've heard what Oscar Sudi is saying and Murkomen. And that is why I'm saying if William Ruto is not careful, it is this brand of politicians that will plunge this country into another wave of protest. Why am I saying this? I don't know why Murkomen is saying that the young people that the president met on X yesterday, immediately they saw President Ruto, they ran away. Personally, I think I even tried logging in, joining that space. Quite a number of us could not join. But ultimately, those who managed were there. Now, Murkomen went and speaking somewhere in a village setup, and telling them about disparaging the calls by the protest, saying that immediately they saw the president, they ran away. What did he want to insinuate? He was trying to insinuate that they are cowards who don't want to face the president, but they faced the president. And I think one of the issues was the arrogance of state officers. Murkomen and Oscar Sudi are back with the arrogance. And they're arrogantly saying that the young people that were protesting saw the president and they ran away. But I think we analyzed here. And even yesterday I showed you videos on how the young people cornered President Ruto and asking President Ruto the tough question. There is this narrative that has been propagated for quite so long. And I'm just wondering, Oscar Sudi and the team must understand that this narrative of sponsored protest is dead on arrival. I've just seen this video of people saying Ruto must go somewhere in a Diani festival. Amidst the festival, the DJ, had a mix, and the people started chanting, and that was at midnight. People started chanting, Ruto must go. So the Ruto Must Go chorus has been going on in festivals, in entertainment joints. I've seen one even in these young people that have been attending the burial ceremonies of those who were killed during the protest. But you keep on with a line that someone paid. If President Ruto is going to take this comfort by the fellows that are staying in denial that the public is awakened, by being told that, you know what, don't worry, Mr. President, the young people that were protesting will not come back because they were just paid. And so, even if you want to do so, let's assume that they're being paid. Don't you think they should then, the people that are behind it, the sponsors, should then be arrested? Because if you're saying there were sponsors and the sponsors are not arrested, then will they continue sponsoring? But you cannot stay in denial that the protests were very organic. And in fact, let me just lay it out clearly. There are some 4 strategies that Kenya Kwanza employed, and successfully they worked for them. The first one was abductions. Abductions are scary because there is also life after everything. Abductions of some influential people who are abducted, high-profile politicians, just to cause panic and show that, you know what, maybe you are targeted next. And these abductions were done in a very inhumane manner. You could see Alfred Keter being abducted in front of his children and wife. Some people are dragged from their houses at night. So it actually happened. Then after those abductions, there are also police were under instructions at time to use live bullets. And live bullets were used from day one, including that of Rex. They have been saying, well, that Rex was actually unarmed. But there were killings. When a protester going there seeing a person who was standing next to you falling down because he's been hit by a bullet, what do you think? Those scenes are very scary. Just last night, I was getting a confession from one gentleman who attended a protest and was telling me, Kevin, I have an account of what happened when people went to parliament because I was around. I saw what exactly happened. Some journalist was telling us. I saw what exactly happened. And in fact, it is very true that the statement was out. The other strategy was planting goons. When you plant goons, goons went on rampage, destroying people's properties and actually stealing from innocent protesters. So a protester will go there, then don't come back, and then he fails to come back with the phone. Breaking into people's supermarkets, and that then attracts the public disdain of the protest. Because when other people are seeing that shops are being broken, even members of the public will tell our children that, our children, we are seeing businesses going down, kindly, let's withdraw. So the goons was another strategy that deviated the real essence of that Gen Z protest. And the other last strategy they employed is bribery to infiltrate and divide those who are actually in front. And you could see some of the people that were leading were spotted around the State House corridors. So all these were dubious schemes that were used. And while they successfully helped government to calm the protest, it is not true. And of course, it will be a very false pretense for Kenya Kwanza to believe that everything is right. Just a week after, we are seeing this propaganda. The propaganda is going on. But from this tiny room, I'm seated. I think the president must not have the false hope. There is still deep-seated bitterness. If you look the way the parents of the kids whose children were killed during the protest, the way they are breaking down, and the mourners attending that event, the young people attending those events are breaking down, you will understand what we are saying. In fact, no government apology has been issued to any family. Forget about this propaganda. No state officer, high profile, president, the deputy, head of police, no one has issued. In fact, they have been acting unremorseful. So the Ruto insiders are likely to plunge this country into another second wave of resentment. I've been saying that the fact that you managed to use all the schemes to quell the protests does not really mean that everything is fine. And if someone is sitting in his comfort saying, I've done my part, I saw a dispatch from cabinet saying, we are congratulating the police for having acted in a manner that helped to quell the protest. The issue is not quelling the protest. You can quell the protest through the bullet and the gun and the goons and and pingos. But if you don't address the deep-seated issues that were raised, I am afraid, President Ruto, this issue is going nowhere. These people are still in this country. I was just talking to Brenda, the lady we were supported. And I think if you had that video, she was saying she graduated in 2016, in 2022. And this is 2024, she still doesn't have a job. And then I was asking her, why is it that ladies joined? She told me, Kevin, all of us don't have the job. So there is nothing to lose. And if we can fight this to help us get a job, this protest borders a lot, is riddled with frustration of joblessness amongst the young people. So you rather fix the country. But you sit there and think everything is fine, you are getting it wrong. The reason why there is a hardcore insiders around President Ruto is because the looting syndicate feel threatened. All this, when we're talking about opulence and the big machines and the choppers that they are buying, it's a public loot. But the more that the public is getting engaged in the political activities of the country, they are feeling threatened. And they would rather tell the president that don't worry about these young people. In fact, we have you. We have you sorted. We will sort you. I think that will be a false pretense. The plight of the population is not given prominence. If you listen to the way Oscar Sudi and Murkomen are riddling the protest, it is evident that those around William Ruto do not buy the understanding that the country was demanding an accountability. And probably I need to remind you, the most contentious issue was the church and the state. And that's why you had Occupy the Church. The second one was corruption. That we are seeing a lot of things, but all this money is going to people's pocket who are going into Harambes, and that is why the issue of Harambee was at the center of it. And then the third thing was, this Harambes, this money we are taking to Harambes is our taxes. We are not seeing value for the taxes, service delivery. And if we can address these three, probably we can restore calm. It is not now. It is too early to celebrate. KK believes they are right, but Kenyans are not just informed, and they are wrong. This population, the population we have, be it the young people, the elders or so, it is the most informed population. A big percentage of Kenyans are having smartphones. They must not consume the traditional media. They are in TikTok. They are in Twitter. They can read websites. They can read these things in Facebook. They attend churches. You will always get information about what's happening. So if there is something that Kenya Kwanza is doing, and they believe they're not informed, because that is what Murkomen is saying, they are wrong. These fellows are informed, and I think even every action that is being taken by the members of the public is taken from an informed point of view. And let me give you an example. After the parliament was invaded, the next was supposed to be State House. And one person, I think, ran a Twitter page and was saying that parliament is a protected area. Guys, we cannot overthrow the president with a handkerchief and the flag. If we invade the parliament, we might be shot and we might be killed. There will be a bloodbath. And people understood. So even if you look at the reject finance bill, they were breaking down. The president was talking about this. They were telling the president about that. They could understand what exactly is the impact of overtaxation in business. Because of overtaxation, business environment is not conducive, and without that, Kenyans cannot get the jobs. So I think we'd rather put the house in order, but an understanding that everything is fine because the Kenyans are quiet is false pretense. I may be wrong, but I'm here. We are staring at another wave of resentment. And this time round, it's still spontaneous, just like this one. No one will organize. It's normally organic. Thank you.